The camp of Presumptive President Bongbong Marcos denies that they're holding a victory party at the luxury island resort. A former finance secretary urges the incoming Marcos administration to retain President Duterte's economic managers. The Labor Department approves wage hikes in 2 regions, but will this be enough to cover price increases of some basic commodities? The PPCRV cries foul over allegations that they're acting as a mere rubber stamp of the COMELEC. And the gold rush continues over at the 31st Southeast Asian Games. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. The camp of Presumptive President Bongbong Marcos says they will not hold a victory party at the private luxury island of Amanpulo. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, Marcos Jr. spokesperson Vic Rodriguez said the supposed celebration at Amanpulo was nothing but speculation. Rodriguez even challenged those spreading this false information to show proof that the victory party will be held for Bongbong Marcos' successful presidential campaign.
Walang ganung victory celebration. Gawa-gawa lang ng mga irresponsableng nagpo-post sa kanilang social media na ayan na naman na malisyoso. At kung meron kayong pinangahawakan na, for example, siguro proof of payment or booking, sino nagpabook o larawan, by all means, i-post ninyo.
In the same program, Vic Rodriguez also revealed that he was tasked to lead the members of the Marcos administration's transition team. He also insisted that they still do not have a list of possible cabinet members.
Unang-una, wala talagang listahan. There is no list. At yung mga naglabasan over the weekend, wala pong katotohanan yon. Yung dalawang announcement lamang na aming inihayag, yun pa lamang ang nasiguradong na-nominate. As for the others there, including myself, may explicit tasking Mase at Jovi is to lead the transition team. And for now, yun ang aking tasking, so that's what I'm doing.
While the camp of Presumptive President Bongbong Marcos says the search is still ongoing for the next administration's cabinet for a former finance chief, the new Marcos administration should consider retaining President Duterte's economic managers. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza with the details.
A week after the May polls, a list of potential cabinet members under Presumptive President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration is spreading online. Included in the supposed list is Philippine Nuclear Research Institute Director Dr. Carlo Arcilla. He was surprised to be named as the next head of the Science and Technology Department based on the list.
Wala pong opisyal na kumausap. Ang hirap naman, nakakaya naman kasi pag-presume na wala, baka marumor lang eh.
Professor Clarita Carlos was also in the list as the next Foreign Affairs Department Secretary. She said that she would be willing to serve if asked.
Even if I'm 76 years old, my whole professional life has been on foreign policy and defense and security. So if I am asked, I'm going to serve.
But the Marcos camp maintains that they are still in the process of searching for members. So far, only Presumptive Vice President Sara Duterte Carpio and former MMDA Chairman Abalos have been confirmed as Secretaries for Education and the Interior Departments respectively. But are they willing to work with the opposition if it comes down to it? Spokesperson Attorney Vic Rodriguez said as long as they are competent. But while Marcos Jr.'s cabinet has yet to take form, former Finance Secretary Bobby De Ocampo advises the former senator to retain President Duterte's economic managers.
The Secretary of Finance, Sonny Dominguez. Now, if BBM can keep Sonny, that would be wonderful. If he can't, then he should pick somebody who has the same capability in managing our funds, so to speak.
Aside from Dominguez, De Ocampo also thinks NEDA Secretary Carl Chua and Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez should be in Marcos Jr.'s economic team. As uncertainties abound over Marcos' economic policies, the naming of his cabinet members, especially his economic team, might just help temper such anxieties. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
The DTI approved price increases in some basic goods, hurting the budget of some consumers. Well, the Labor Department has approved a wage hike in Metro Manila and Western Visayas. Will this be enough to help offset the rising cost of goods? Jrs de la Peña with the story.
While doing her grocery for a small sari-sari store in Quezon City, Lani noticed that prices of some items have increased.
Malaking epekto kasi solo parent ako eh. O napakahirap mag-budget lalo na pag wala kang budget.
Effective last week, prices of some basic goods have gone up after the DTI approved manufacturers' requests. Based on the DTI's new price bulletin, prices of certain brands of canned sardines, instant noodles, instant coffee, batteries, and laundry detergent went up by 2 to 5%. Prices of certain brands of processed milk went up by 2% to as much as 10%. Even the price of salt went to as much as over 10%. Prices of bread, bottled water, and condiments likewise went up. The DTI said that manufacturers argued that prices of tamban, among other raw materials, went up by as much as 30%.
Hindi na natin rin mapigilan because of the increase in the prices of raw materials. A lot of these materials are imported. Siyempre, yung cost of importation nila kasama na aside from the cost ng produkto mismo na binibili nila pagdating dito.
Castelo said that they have coordinated with the wage board to cushion the impact of price increases. The Labor Department recently announced that workers in Metro Manila will see their wages increase by 33 pesos a day. A wage hike is also due in Western Visayas. But for a household help like Sonia, the added pay does little to offset the rise in commodity prices.
Pipiliin yung mura muna para magsakto yung pera na hawak natin para mabili lang yung kailangan. Kulang pa rin.
Bakit po?
Kasi madadagdagan pa rin yung bilihin. Tapos pamasahe pati.
The DTI said consumers can still go for cheaper options since the price increases only apply to certain brands. They also assured the public that any petition for price increases will pass through the agency's scrutiny. For News 5, Jrs de la Peña, we are One News.
The PPCRV says they're doing their exact mandate amid allegations that the watchdog is acting more like a lapdog for the COMELEC. Camille Samonte with a report.
Election watchdog PPCRV has defended its mandate in response to allegations that it was merely acting as a rubber stamp for the Commission on Elections. In a Facebook post, PPCRV chairperson Myla Villanueva explained that the PPCRV's task is to check against any transmission fraud with the election returns. As an accredited citizen arm, PPCRV receives the fourth copy of the pre-transmitted election returns that they use for the parallel vote count. Villanueva was responding to an open letter from an individual who identified himself as a volunteer encoder. The volunteer was disappointed that PPCRV volunteers were not encoding the actual ballot receipts but only the total written on the ERs. Said volunteer was the one who alleged the PPCRV was acting as a rubber stamp of the COMELEC. The PPCRV, however, explained that the watchdog is not mandated to conduct a random manual audit of ballots.
According po doon sa ating batas, that's Republic Act number 9369, ang accredited citizens arm po ay mabibigyan ng kopya ng fourth copy ng election return. Yun lamang po yung meron kami. Hindi po kami pwedeng kumuha ng balota dahil po yun ay isang election offense. Okay? Hindi po namin pwedeng basta-basta kunin ang balota.
The counting of individual ballots itself is done by NAMFREL and Lente through a random manual audit. The PPCRV has received around 62,752 ERs. Of that number, 46,447 have already been encoded. They also reported a 98.59% matching rate in the second batch of ERs that were validated. 355 ERs, meanwhile, will undergo revalidation due to clerical and typographical errors.
As we encode more returns, we expect more errors to come out, right? So errors in encoding or different types of errors. So hindi po surprising na dumadagdag yung numbers. A lot of the mistakes are clerical or brought about by tired eyes and fingers.
The encoding and validation of ERs are now simultaneously being done to remain on track with their schedule.
As long as we have ERs coming and we have resources, we will encode as much as possible. So we will finish what we can finish. Now, historically, hindi naman namin natatapos yung 100%, but we will try to encode as much as possible.
The PPCRV is eyeing to finish the parallel vote count on May 20. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
It's mission accomplished for some Filipino delegates at the 31st SEA Games. Carlos Yulo wrote a perfect ending to his glorious campaign in Vietnam by winning 2 more gold medals in the vault and horizontal bar. That's on top of his victories in the men's all-around, floor exercise and rings, for a total of 5 gold and 2 silver medals for the 22-year-old. Meanwhile, Merwin Tan ended the country's gold drought in bowling by rolling a 6-bagger in the last frame to overhaul a 52-pin deficit against Thailand and Indonesia. The last Filipino bowler to win gold in the SEA Games was Frederick Ong in the men's singles of the 2011 Jakarta Games. Flashed on your screens right now are some of the games scheduled today for Team Pilipinas. Note that the times displayed here have been adjusted to reflect Philippine time. For the full schedule of games, head on over to the SEA Games website at SEAGames2021.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, all right, on target.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.